Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 37. It's been a week since Lango's apparent demise. We all know he's not dead. And yes, I've been surfing the net to make sure that there's pictures around seeing, the actor receiving his flowers. But no. He is alive, folks, somewhere. But rest assured, he will be coming back soon. And yeah, so it's been a week since Lango's defeat. And now the news is going around about the Ganyuts and the connection of the mass disappearance that happened last week. And I have to say, guys, you know that we're entering the end game phase now that humans or humanity now knows of these monsters, right? And again, like I said, Gavv has been great. It's better than Gotchard, and you can tell from my recent reviews, if you listen to them, that I haven't been ranting so much like I did last year when it came to Gotchard and their lousy storytelling and all that. But yeah, it's going to be sad to see it go. And the question now remains, because now that humanity knows about these creatures, I'm curious how, the show is going to end. Are the Ganyuts going to stop, kidnapping people and be like, hey, I think we shouldn't, invade Earth and kill people? Because we all know that the Stomach family will be dealt with by the end of the final episode, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And a new president will be elected, and it just remains, are the Ganyuts and humans going to coexist in peace? Or are they going to decide to seal all the portals and just never get involved with Earth ever again? Which leads to Rakita. Obviously, Shoma is going to stay in the human world. He has no connections to the Ganyu world. It's just a bunch of painful memories anyway, so why would he care if the Ganyu world gets sealed off or not? It's a given that Shoma is going to stay. Rakita, on the other hand, he has a choice to make. If the new Ganyu president decides to seal off the portals to Earth, that means Rakita will have to make a choice. Either he goes back or stay. Now, if the president decides to not seal off all the portals to Earth and maybe, find a way to coexist, maybe talk to the Japanese prime minister and say, hey, blah, 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 blah. And, and that's it. Because Shoma, like any other main character from Kamen Rider, they always become the bridge between humans and the monster in question. Because Shoma is a product of a human and a Ganyut. You have another perfect example in Kiba, where Wataru is a half human, half fungi, and apparently at the end of their season, humans and fungi are trying their best to coexist in peace. Even though, fungi, tend to kill people because they need their plasma and, that mess. But, that sort of thing. And I wonder if it's going to turn out the same way. Is Shoma going to become the bridge between Ganyuts and humanity? And are we going to see Ganyuts living in the human world and I don't see humans deciding to visit the Ganyu world anytime soon, even after the end. But I do see maybe, just maybe, Ganyu's trying to visit the human world in human disguises, and maybe, just maybe, live among them like, like Shoma is doing and Rakita is doing. Yeah, I just wanted to say that because the end game is coming. We only have a few episodes left until the new season approaches, and I'm sure they're filming it right now. And again, it's going to be very tough to see it go. But I digress, right? So as our heroes are watching TV, looking at the news, and the reporter is telling, oh, these Garnutes could be connected to the mass disappearances and all that. We have a 10-year-old boy entering in the office and is in need of assistance. And apparently his family's wagashi store is not drawing in customers. And he wanted to, to see if the happy parade could help him in that regard. And so Shika says, yeah. Just let us visit your store, and we will see. We will give you the details of how we're going to do this thing and whatnot. So they said, yeah, we kind of accept that. Let me get more information first. And just a side note, this 10-year-old gives, these treats to Sashika, Hanto, and Shoma as payment, I guess. And you see Shoma and Hanto eating the treats, and they enjoy it very much, as you can tell. And as the boy and Sashika were preparing to leave to visit the store, you've noticed the boys finishing up their treats, right? And they're about to grab the last one, and they stared at each other briefly like, wait a minute, I want this. This is the last one. I want this. And just like, they stare at each other all funny. I'm like, I want this. That's just a side note that I noticed. And also, Shoma gives birth to a brand new Kachizo. So yeah, that's just a side note. So we go to our favorite soap opera as the Ganyu world turns, and we go to the president's castle, and once again, Lizelle gives her papa more gifts from the human world, which of course it will end up in the garbage right after. We all know this. And Nave gives the bad news to the president that Lango has been defeated and his order will be temporarily halted. So now the president is very concerned. Well, first he said, his talents, Lango will be sorely missed. His talents were exemplary, but let's be honest here. The president was twisting Lango's arm. We all know that Lango was forced to be kept in line, or else he and his entire family would have been in a jail cell. Let's just call it. Maybe he was genuine because he's like a great worker, I guess. But the president is like, yeah, he's going to be sorely missed. It's going to be very sad, but Anyways, so now he's concerned about Shoma and the Ganyut hunters. Like, now that Lango is gone, these humans are pretty much a threat. Well, they've been a threat. And ask Nabe, okay, we need to do something. Have you come up with a solution or something? And they've said, no, not yet. And let me come up with something, and let me handle the problem. But of course, you have Lizelle. And Lizelle is like, wait a minute. You have me, Papa, and my beloved husband, Jeebh. I mean, we could take over Lango's spot, and we will carry out your order. So, we don't, how you say, never fear. Lizelle and Jeebh are here, and we're gonna do a much better job than Lango ever did. And Jeebh, on the other hand, was like, yeah, of course we will do it. But Jeebh, his plan was blown. It was blown out of proportion in a literal sense, right? Because, like I mentioned to you guys last week, Jeebh's plan was to pit both Lango and Shoma together so that Lango can easily kill Shoma. But what he didn't count on was the opposite, Shoma killing, air quotes, Lango. And I have to say, Jeebh is such a coward, because if you wanted your half-brother dead and avenged your sister, you could have just tried and avenged her yourself. But he knows that he is weak. He knows that he is not powerful as a Shoma or a Lango. So he had to, rat out Lango's location and then place them together in the hopes of Shoma being killed. But no. So he is still stunned on what happened to Lango, and he's just like, yeah. We will do it without fail, but you can tell that he is very pissed off. So we get to the next scene after the opening credits. Shoma and Sashika visit the Wagashi store, and we get to see his mom, and we get an origin story of how the store came to be. Her husband passed away, and since then the customers have not been coming. But it's weird because the food was very good, according to Sashika and Shoma and Hanto as well, because he tasted the treats. They were good. So it didn't make any sense of, okay, if the food is great, how come you still are not getting any customers? It's weird. And the mom is giving props to her worker named Kenji, who's been working with them for many years, and he was able to recreate the husband's recipes, and they're up to par. But again, it's strange that they're not getting any customers when their food is great. So obviously there's something missing. And just a side note, once again, the boy offers Sashika and Shoma more treats. And, we get to see Shoma being super happy to eat delicious treats, being the king of sweets and all. And they tried the... I'm going to butcher this. Kuga mochi and dorayaki. And once again, Shoma gives birth to 2 new kachizos. And a funny thing, because after Shoma gives birth to 2 kachizos, the mom and the son were like, wait, I saw something. Oh, is it bad? And then Sashika's like, no. There's nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. The food is great. Don't pay attention to anything at all. It's funny how, if they notice something, be like, wait, I saw something. And Sashika or anybody else, like a Hanto or Rakita, will be like, no, you're just imagining things. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And Shoma's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. Relax. So Sashika takes the job, and she gives a disclaimer. Look, I will take the job, but I'm not going to make any promises. So, I will do my best. So I'm just giving you a disclaimer here. Okay. We go to the next scene. It's a short little scene. Rakita is, still living at Dr. Nick's office, of course. And he sees his poor driver being broken now. It's kind of useless now. And so he, was like, okay, this sucks, right? This sucks. that I have to see him to get this thing fixed. And by him is Dente. He has to see Dente in the hopes of, hey, can you fix my driver? Yeah, I mean, who else is gonna fix it? Nave? And again, if Dr. Nick were still alive, do you seriously think that Dr. Nick would offer his services to fix his driver? There's no chance in hell, right? So Dente is the only Ganyut in the world that has the knowledge to be able to fix his driver. And as he was about to leave, he gets a phone call from Shoma asking him, hey, is it possible for you to talk to the Kabuto guy? Remember the Kabuto guy from previous episodes ago, and how the Ganyut stole the avatar and stole his channel? That little kid? Yeah. Shoma is asking Rakita to call him to, hey, can you call this kid and, in the hopes of, hey, can you give him the treats from the store to help the store get more customers and have rave reviews and all that? And the kid is like, okay, fine, I'll do that. So after that, we go back to the happy parade offices. And Sashika is coming up with a strategy on how to promote this store, because she has noticed that this particular store is surrounded by rival candy stores. So she is trying, okay, how am I going to promote this store knowing that we have a couple of rivals on their area? So while she is trying to figure that out, Shoma wants to pay a visit to the candy store that he has become a regular to. And in the hopes of maybe the owner will give him some ideas. Now it's becoming not painfully obvious, but obvious that this man is going to become very important. I would not be surprised, people. I will not be surprised that this shop owner that Shoma constantly visits to get his candies and all that could be Shoma's uncle. I wouldn't be surprised. And as you know, Kamen Rider, if you watch Kamen Rider as much as I do, Kamen Rider has this problem that it's like they can be very obvious, right? And I wish it wasn't so obvious or becoming obvious that, oh, okay, it looks like it. My theory is going to be, oh, this shop owner could be, a relative from his mother's side. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being true. Yeah, because why else is he constantly showing up on the show if he's not important? So, yeah, it's gonna be like not a shocker if the truth comes out that, hey, this man is your uncle. Okay. Just saying, right? Just saying. So speaking of which, so he's Shoma. He shows up at the candy store and talks to the shop owner, and we get his origin story of how he acquired the store. And apparently he grew up shopping in this store when it belonged to a previous owner, and he inherited the store as the store was going under, so he decided to take it. And that's pretty much it, because he fell in love with the store. He grew up with the store, and it makes sense that, hey, can I give it a go? Can I be the owner and I will take care of it for you? And yeah, it makes sense, right? And so he suggested that it could help to have some sort of visible theme. And like, like how he turned the store around. And I wrote down quirk, a visible quirk, because in the subtitles it says quirk. I'm like, well, it's not like My Hero Academia type of quirk. But I think what he meant was some sort of theme, something to catch his customer's eye. Because what I've noticed about the family candy store is that everything seems to be bland. There's nothing that catches customers' eye. Like, it's almost as if the store is boring. It needs to have some sort of spice to attract customers in. I think that's what the shop owner meant about quirk. And this is where Shoma's like, oh, visible quirk, eh? So we get to the next scene. Hanto gets a call. I don't know who, maybe Shoma or Sashika. And he was asked that, hey, can you write an article about this candy store we're helping? And of course, he's going to go visit the store tomorrow. And then as he was about to take something out, the drawing of the wolf Ganyu just drops out, and he just opens it up and sees his drawing, and he is wondering if he will ever get to see this monster so he can avenge his mom. And he's like, oh well, would the day come to avenge you, Mom? And he just sighs and he leaves. So we get to, not really, as the Ganyu world turns. No. No. I jumped the gun right there. We get to Jeebh. Jeebh is getting haunted by Shita's ghost. He's getting the Hamlet treatment, guys. He's getting the Hamlet treatment. Shita is haunting her little brother and be like, hey, to be or not to be? That is the question. When in the hell are you gonna avenge me, brother? When are you gonna avenge me? And Jeebh is like, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to avenge you. You're not trying hard enough. You're not trying hard enough. Yes. So he has been getting nightmares from Shita. Shita's ghost is angry because Jeebh is not avenging her. And then to make matters even worse, he wakes up from his nightmare and gets greeted by his older sister Glotta. And she is very angry. She is sad because, for one thing, Lango is gone. And two, she got demoted. She got demoted to procurement. And she is wondering, so it was you, little brother, that you demoted me from my job, right? And she starts to choke him, and she says, I wouldn't be surprised that you wanted our older brother to be killed because of your revenge tour. And Jeebh was like, no. I mean, for one, I did not I did not remove you from your post. It wasn't me. Second of all, it wasn't part of the plan. I never wanted Lango to get killed. And to be honest, guys, I think he's telling the truth. At least from the Lango situation. His revenge tour consists of Shoma getting killed, but also when it comes to Lango, it's all about humiliating him and putting him in his place. That was it. To rub it in his face, humiliate him, and just, the same way he treated him and Shita. That was his revenge for Lango. He never once thought of, thought about his death. It's all about humiliating him. So I will say that he is telling the truth. And I'm sure he is telling the truth about, hey, it wasn't me. I didn't give the order to demote you and all that stuff. It wasn't me. So if it wasn't him, it has to be Lizelle that did that. But obviously Lizelle is not going to say anything. And speaking of Lizelle, she steps in because she is looking at her hubby getting choked out by her sister-in-law. And, like, stop it. Do not kill my hubby. And Gota's like, stops choking him and just like, screw you. And she's just so depressed, and she just leaves. And Lizelle was like, didn't run towards Jeebh and just held him in her arms and be like, are you okay? Like, nothing at all. She just casually approaches the couch and be like, hey, are you okay? I mean, some wife she is, I swear. But Jeebh is now like, okay, I need to kill my half-brother quick. Now he's very desperate to kill Shoma. Like, he wants him dead quickly. Like, because now he is haunted by Shita's ghost, and you have Gota, who is blaming him for the death of Lango and also her job getting taken away. So, yeah, his revenge tour is falling apart. So we go back to the Wagashi store. Sashika shows the mom and son their new social media page for their restaurant or cafe or bakery, whatever. And then Hanto comes in and he gets introduced, and Sashika said he's going to be the one to write the article for your store. And, the mom and Hanto exchange business cards. And Shoma notices something in their business cards that gave him an idea about the supposed quirk. And so just by staring at this logo on the business card. So we immediately go to the next scene. And our heroes decided, hey, why not just go to a zoo? And maybe going there will give us some ideas about, this quirk thing for the store. So we see, our heroes, looking at animals. You have the kid, with his sketchbook, drawing the animals. And then as, Sashika, Sashika, Shoma, and the boy are, looking at animals, we have Hanto and Kenji, and they have a moment together in private, and, Hanto wanted to interview him. And this is where Kenji tells Hanto that the owner of the store, the husband, was the one who picked him up from the streets. Apparently he did a lot of horrible things in his past. And Hanto was like, what horrible things? And then, Kenji backtracks by saying, look, I was very lost in my life, but this man gave me new life. He gave me a job, and he restored my love of treats, and now I make them for a living. And I owe everything to this man. And rightfully so. We get to see the boy. Now we got a name because we have not received a name until the very end, which the boy's name is Hiroto. And Hiroto shows Kenji his sketches, and we get to see, hey, we have these animals. Let us make some wagashi, animal things, treats. Yes, so we get to the next scene, and our heroes leave the zoo, and unfortunately they get ambushed by Jeebh and his agents, because there was a previous scene where you see an agent spying on Shoma and his group and reports back to Jeebh that we have located them, and we all know the rest there. So we get to see Shoma and Hanto. Sashika takes Hiroto and Kenji, to safety away from the fight. we get to this fight between Hanto, Shoma versus two agents and the desperate Jeebh. And this is funny because both Shoma and Hanto transform into their ice theme forms. And we have this moment where Hanto gets dragged by two agents, and he tells Shoma, hey, let me deal with these agents, as he was getting dragged away. I find it to be funny. And before that, you see, Jeebh, viciously going after his half-brother, and you see Hanto be like, hey, stop it, right? So he goes after Jeebh, and Jeebh is like, get away from me. I'm not after you. He just ignores him. They're like, oi! I find it funny. Yeah, Jeebh does not care about you, Hanto. He only cares about killing his half-brother, so just, nah. But yeah, I find it to be funny that Hanto gets ignored and gets dragged away by agents. Anyways, as our beloved, Valen gets dragged, Shoma fights Jeebh, and you can easily tell now that Shoma has grown a lot, that he easily beats up Jeebh with ease. And if you were to go back in the earlier episodes where Jeebh and Shita were involved, Shoma had a terrible time. They were strong, but now Shoma has gotten stronger, and he just easily beats up Jeebh, which, by the way, it causes Jeebh to go all crazy. He goes on this why face. He's very frustrated. Why can I kill him? Why? He goes on this why phase as Lizelle is watching on, and yeah, this is sad. And then Jeebh is pulling the whole, like, you are a curse. You are a plague to my family. Because of you, my family is my family is torn up. It's in hell. Because of you, you kill off Shita. I hate you. And this is one of the problems I have with Shoma. I wish Shoma would say, Jeebh, I'm not responsible for Shita's death in terms of, like, you forced my hand. You forced me. You, Lango, Glotta, Knave, every one of those family members, you guys forced my hand. Your actions led to Shita's death and Lango's quote-unquote death. Everything points to you, not to me, right? I'm not responsible. It's your own fault. And let's be honest, it is the Stomach's family's fault. They're just getting their karma right now. Shoma is trying to live his happy life. He doesn't want to get involved in their stuff, but again, they're constantly kidnapping people and turning them into dark treats. It's just like, come on. Like, if you stop doing that, then Shoma will leave you guys alone. But no, you can't leave it alone. No. And when, in terms of having this revenge tour, it doesn't end well for the person who wants revenge. It ends up going to, for them to get themselves killed, or they end up getting crazy, which Jeebh is starting to become crazy. Well, he's been crazy because who in the hell still has, their late sister's disguise and uses it every once in a while? That's kind of creepy. You can tell that, he's not taking Shita's death very well. And he's not letting go. He thinks that with Shoma's death that he's going to be at peace. Shita's ghost is going to be at peace. And the family will go back together. And everything will be back to normal without Shoma ever being born, right? No. No, it's not. You still have the president, and the president is in control of your company. And you have traitors in your family. Right now, Nave has betrayed your family. You betrayed your family, Jeebh, by giving out information about the stomach company and its dealings in the dark treats. That was all on you, not on Shoma. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? Jeebh is blaming Shoma for all the bad things that's going on in his family, but Shoma is trying to live out his own life. I'm telling you, actions comes with consequences. And right now, Lango, Jeebh, Glotta, Nave, they are experiencing their karma. And it's only a matter of episodes where all the family members end up being killed off. Now, do you think that Jeebh is going to be the last stomach family standing and be like, look, I can't do this anymore. I can't kill you. I can imagine him go crazy and maybe be left alone in mourning Shita's death for as long as he gets to live, or he gets killed off. I don't know. I just get this feeling that he's going to be the only stomach family left standing, but who knows? But his lust for revenge is going to drive him mad. Yeah. So, we go to Hiroto, because as you know, Sashika, Kenji, and Hiroto were escaping the fight. Hiroto realizes that he dropped his sketchbook, and he wants to go back and get it. And of course, unfortunately, you know, Kenji and Sashika is like, oh great, we have to go back. Like, you know, yeah, they have to go back, unfortunately, so they do. We go back to the fight between the maddened Jeebh and Shoma, and of course the fight between Hanto and the agents. So let me start with Hanto. So Hanto does a reflex, like a suplex on one of the agents, on the stairs. I'm sure that it must have hurt both of them, because I mean, a suplex on the stairs, that could easily, hurt your back. And I never seen a suplex on the stairs before, and with good reason, right? But the stunt people decided, hey, I think, why not? It could be a nice idea to give a suplex on the stairs. Like, okay. I mean, I'm sure their back is aching right now, but yeah. And then, Hanto kills the two agents using the splits, the jump split. I find it to be like funny, but it's Hanto. What do you expect from him? So he uses his final attack and does the splits on them and gets easily, and the agents gets destroyed. And then we go back to Shoma versus Jeebh. And again, like I told you guys earlier, he is going on the Y phase. I hate you. You're a plague to my house. A plague on your houses. and he's just cursing Shoma out. And he wants let me have my revenge, damn it. Let me have my revenge. But gets greeted by an eyes illusion. But luckily, Jeebh gets saved by his wife, Lizelle, and says, sorry, Red Gavv. I need my hubby alive. I love my hubby. And then we quickly turn to Hiroto. He returns. He picks up his sketchbook and gets greeted by a pile of rocks because Lizelle shoots Shoma for not paying attention to her, and then it got reflected and the blast hit like a bridge, and you see rocks come tumbling down on Hiroto, but luckily you have Kenji, who just runs in there to cover the boy, but then it leads to a shocking discovery. Kenji is actually a Ganyut, and not just any Ganyut. It's the wolf Ganyut that kidnapped Hanto's mother all those years ago. So everybody's in shock. Lizelle and Jeebh just walked away, and Kenji in his Ganyu form just looks at everybody, and Hanto was in shock. But the sad part about this shocking moment is that Hanto was indeed shocked, but he wasn't like remember how Hanto was shocked to see Shoma and Rakita together for the first time fighting Glotta, and then Glotta, revealed the truth, and he had that shocking look on his face as if Shoma was caught cheating. In this case, he wasn't as shocked as he did, that day. He was just like, he's shocked, but he's not as shocked as he did before. And he was like, you're the Ganyut that kidnapped my mom. And the wolf Ganyut, Kenji, was like, did I kidnap your mom? It's been years ago. And Hanto shows, his drawing and be like, oh, great. Apparently, because it was how many years ago? And, it makes sense that he doesn't remember. And Hanto looked like he's about to shoot this Ganyu, but then the Kenji turns to look at Hiroto and be like, okay, I need to take this guy to a doctor or home. And so he picks him up. He turns back to his human form and tells Hanto, look, I need to take him home. I'm not running away. Let us settle this thing later. And he walks away with the boy. And then Shoma lets a Kachizo scout to tail them, and Hanto just stood there and just yeah. He was about to shoot Kenji, but he's like, okay, we'll settle this later, I guess. And that's how the episode ends. And this is an interesting turning point for Hanto, because we don't know what's going to happen next week, right? We get to finally see, Hanto seeing the kidnapper after all these years. He wants revenge for his mom, but this is a different Hanto than the Hanto from the earlier episodes. The old Hanto was all about killing Ganyuts. He wants them out of existence forever. He was stone cold. He was telling Shoma there's no such thing as a good Ganyut. Even if they were good, I will still put him in the ground. That's how much he hates Ganyuts. But now this is a different Hanto. So I wonder if is he going to kill him? Or is he willing to let him live and possibly forgive him? That's the question. Is he gonna beat him up and kill him, or beat him up and be like, look, I cannot forgive you for what you did to me because of you, I lived a very hard life without my parents. And with my mental gone, it became worse. So, it's just everything bad started with you kidnapping my mom. So, I don't know. I'm very curious because there's two paths that Hanto can choose from. But I get this feeling that he's not going to forgive, but he's going to be like, look, clearly you have changed. Clearly you haven't been attacking people ever since you kidnapped my mom. So I've decided to let you live. However, if I hear that you've been killing people, that's when I have to step in and end you. I can imagine him saying that and sparing his life. But the third option will be very interesting. And if he chooses the third option, you can tell that Hanto really did change for the better. I mean, if he would have gone to option 2, then sure, right? But going to the option 3 path, you can tell that Hanto has really grown as a person. And what I mean about option 3 is forgiving him. I forgive you for kidnapping my mother. Is it going to happen? I want it to happen, but I can clearly see that Hanto will still beat up this Wolfgang Youth, but also sparing his life with one condition. I will spare your life, but if I hear anything bad coming from you, then I will have to put you on in the ground. That's his condition. I could see that happening a mile away. If it was the old Hanto, again, I think he will kill him no matter what. If it was the old Hanto, but this is the new Hanto we're talking about. So it's either he's gonna let him go, but he's gonna be like with the condition, or he's gonna forgive him. That's it. That's the way I'm seeing it right now. For me, like I said before, I'm hoping that he chooses option 3 and just say, I forgive you, and then he moves on. That's what I want to happen, but you never know. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. Yeah, Jeebh is becoming mad, and he is desperate for revenge. Rakita right now is benched. Hanto has found his wolf. Now the question remains if he's gonna kill him, or he's gonna let him live and forgive him. And yeah, I think that is it. I mean, that's the important key points of this episode anyway, so I mean that's clearly it. Have you seen episode 37? If so, give me your thoughts and opinions about the episode. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What would you change if the episode was bad? And also, give me your theories of what's going to happen between Hanto and the Wolfgang Youth. Is he going to spare his life and just give him a warning? Or is he going to forgive him? Or is he going to kill him? Whatever options, there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a beatdown. But what are your thoughts and opinions of what Hanto is going to do? Forgive him, let him go with a condition, or kill him? Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Or you could give me another theory that I never thought of. Give me your thoughts and opinions about what Hanto's decision could be for next week. And did I miss anything? Because even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things. And also, just to add another theory, do you think that this shop owner that Shoma constantly visits to, could it be Shoma's uncle? Could it be? Something tells me, and it's painfully obvious, that it is. But give me your thoughts about it. Is he Shoma's uncle or not? Alrighty then, I'm going to start rambling, guys. So give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. Can you believe it's June already, guys? Can you believe it? And in 2 months, we're witnessing the tail end of Gavv. It's going to be sad to see it go. All good things must come to an end, right? It's going to suck, but we all know that in August, we're going to have a new season of Kamen Rider, and seeing Gavv go, it's going to be rough, because when you have a good show like this, it's going to be very hard to transition from Gavv to the new season. But, it is what it is, right? So once again, give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!